One of the things that got me interested in 3D, especially initially talking with James, was the aesthetic issues. As to, like in what way does that change how you actually make a film? What additional value can 3D sort of provide to a film? And I think that now that's very much on a lot of people's minds, partly because of the staggering success of Avatar and a whole series of films by serious filmmakers that are sort of rolling out. And so I thought that maybe we should just begin by asking the question of what is it that 3D is providing in additional content? And in addition to that, what are the aesthetic issues that in terms of that actually making films or commercials for that matter? And I thought we'd start with Munro.
Well, it's an excellent question. Am I
audible? Okay, yeah. That's a fantastic question. A lot of people think that 3D is just a wow thing, a gimmick, or if they think beyond that, it's got something to do with realism. And it's much more than that. There's a lot of different styles that are possible in 3D. And for me, I think the most interesting thing about 3D isn't the wow factor, it's actually the intimacy. It's the fact that you can bring a character right up close in your face, and that he or she can look you right in the eye. And there's a kind of sense of emotional engagement that's possible in 3D that doesn't work in 2D, whether we're talking about film or television. And there's a lot of possibility with detail, bringing you into the world. I mean, Avatar is a good example, an imaginary world. And I think that there are, of course, different kind of film language that we're going to have to evolve with this new technology. The editing is different, the composition is different, there's different rules of composition. And I think actually you're going to see kind of different kinds of stories coming out of 3D. I wish Marshall McLuhan were around right now. He can tell us what was going to happen next. But that's where I see it. I see we're on the cusp of a revolution in storytelling, and I think you're going to see a lot of changes come along with 3D.
One thing that I think is
interesting about 3D, especially what Avatar is I think a really good platform example of, is in the past I think we've all associated 3D with making the most of the medium and poking sharp objects at the camera and bubbles floating in 3D. And I think if anything that's counterintuitive to what the strength of 3D is, which is to make the experience more immersive, to really bring you into the world. We see in 3D, our world's in 3D, so if the dramatic world that's being presented to us is also in 3D, it helps us see the world through the eyes of the character and become part of the drama that's unfolding before us, as opposed to the spear in the face, which I think breaks the fourth wall and sort of reminds us that we're in a theater looking at a novelty. So I think it's more exciting with what the way 3D is developing now and the way it's being used, the film language that still has to be explored and developed. But what I think is exciting as a viewer is that it's more immersive, that it allows you to vicariously experience the drama that's unfolding, therefore it's more powerful. And that, to my mind, is what the value is to the end user.
I actually, if I could add something, I really can't speak to film as much as I can to gaming. But I know we did a study of what gamers think of 3D and the technologies available on the market. And what we learned, one of the questions we asked is what motivates gamers to buy the equipment that they do? And gamers are early adopters. They will spend top dollar on graphics cards like NVIDIA and ATI graphics cards and CPUs by Intel, and they'll spend like a lot of money. It's a serious hobby for them. So when they're making purchasing decisions, what's their motivation for doing that? And the number one motivation among gamers is immersion, game immersion. So this is one of the reasons why stereoscopic 3D and like gamers are being looked at as early adopters for stereoscopic 3D technology, because they're very much after that immersion factor, and stereoscopic 3D perfectly fits into that motivation. And I will add one more point. In film, yes, there have been a lot of criticisms about out-of-screen effects, like spears popping out and so on. In the gaming world, it's as much about the story as it is about the ride and the excitement. So while some effects might be a little bit taboo in the cinema world, In gaming, they get very excited, and if certain effects are missing, they actually look at it as a detriment to the game. They want to see all these wonderful effects on condition that it's comfortable and it adds excitement to the video game.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's probably oriented towards the gaming is participatory. Watching films is something where you're imaginatively projecting yourself into the circumstance. So the trouble with the spheres popping out is typically that it actually distracts you from your experience of the film. That is to say, it breaks your immersion, like in some way.
I'll jump in there. In the projects that we've done over the last few years, we've developed a language for the 3D, and we're always debating whether it's an immersive experience or whether it's off the screen and sort of more in your face. And depending on the project we do, in a commercial that's short, the client wants everything off the screen because they often perceive that whether it's graphics or something in your face, there's value in that. And I'm more of a storyteller, so I'm more of the immersive school where I want people to almost want to lean forward and go, wow, this is an incredible environment we've created. But we're always debating how much off screen, how much behind the screen content there will be. And we always have that debate, and no matter what happens, even like the U2 film that we showed clips of yesterday, it's an immersive experience. There's not so much off screen and in your face, yet the moment that everyone remembers from the film is when Bono reaches forward with his hand and reaches out and he appears to be about 5 feet in front of you. That's the moment everybody remembers, which is this huge negative parallax moment where his hand is way off screen, and he also looks you right in the eye. So he does break the fourth wall, but people go, wow, I'm intimate with Bono right now. Maybe that's the wrong word, but I have a relationship with Bono as he's reaching right out to me and he's speaking to me. And so we're always debating, and we probably always will, because particularly in the commercial world where people are paying for it, there's perceived value in the amount of content that's off the screen. And if it's a logo or a bumper or a commercial, I think it's fair game, and certainly in the gaming world, they want things in your face. The longer the format, whether it's a music film or a feature film, the more you have to pull back, because over 90 minutes, you don't want to be playing with people's eye muscles too much, because then you do get into eye strain. So, and I think I explained a little bit, when an object comes off the screen or appears to come off the screen, your eyes toe in to fuse that. And then as it goes behind the screen, your eyes go more parallel. So you're actually doing this the way your eyes naturally do in real life. But the more we do that, and certainly if we do it fast, people start going, oh, my eyes are hurting. And that's the death of us all in 3D. So we don't want anyone to ever have eye strain. We want it to be an easy, relaxing experience.
I just want to add, because I know Michael wants to share a few points too. In the gaming world, it's important to understand that people do play games for a long period of time. It's not 10 minutes or 15 minutes at a time. They'll play hours. I mean, when they're investing $60 for a title, they want 15, 20 hours of gameplay out of it. However, one advantage that gaming has over film is it's not one size fits all. Film, of course, you have to be conservative to satisfy the largest audience possible and to ensure the majority of people are, of course, very comfortable and they walk away with a positive experience. In gaming, each game could be tailored to the individual's eyes, so they could adjust exactly how much depth they want, how much of an out-of-screen experience they want, what's comfortable for them as a person. So I think in the case of in the gaming world, there's no black and white as to what will work, what people will be comfortable with, and what your limitations are. So I just wanted to clarify that.
I just want to add a small point. There is a segment that does like the material or the content that does pop off the screen, and that's education. We're involved in Cinema Education Home, but education in particular, we've done a case study, and the case study was very interesting. The retention was 35% in 3D versus 9.5% in 2D. With that said, the whole reason why the attention was as it was because the kids, they like the 3D that comes off the screen. So there's there is an audience, and it's the kids that like the 3D that comes off the screen, because for them, unlike us, it's more immersive, and they feel like they're there and they can touch the item that's coming out at them. I know it just